Cara Thomas is on the line right now from Spectrum News, and a lot has happened over the last couple of days with this Conley trial. And Cara, thanks for coming back with us. Good morning.
Good morning, Bill. Yeah, like you said, a lot has happened. Yesterday, the prosecution rested their case after playing, the last couple of days, they played several portions of the final interview that police did with Kaitlyn Conley. She never made any admissions in those videos, so it wasn't anything that was huge and, detrimental to their case.
Yeah.
But they did want the jury to watch those videos to kind of see Conley's, just the way she was acting within those videos, where she was crying or where she wasn't speaking or where she, things like that. But then, they rested their case yesterday, and the defense had three witnesses take the stand yesterday, including Cameron Yoder, who is another daughter of Mary and Bill Yoder. Mary was the victim in this case, as well as Kathleen Richmond. Now, she was Mary Yoder's sister and is currently Bill Yoder's girlfriend. And she got on the stand and testified to, she had never been more than friends or more than brother-in-law, sister-in-law with Bill before Mary passed away. And then it wasn't until, after she passed away that they became close. They were grieving together, as she had just also lost a husband.
Right. Back to that, I'm interested here because the reports that I've seen and reading about testimony yesterday, it didn't seem to, these witnesses did not seem to fare well for the defense. Right. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, it surprised me a little bit. There was one witness, I think, that the defense was really banking on, and she was a waitress at a diner where Kathleen Richmond and her former husband would visit frequently. She stopped going for a while after her husband died, and then all of a sudden she came back with another man, and then eventually came and had lunch with Bill Yoder at this restaurant. The defense, I think, was banking on them being able to say what date that was, or hoping that they would say it was before Mary had died. But the waitress got on the stand and was not able to testify to when she saw them together. But the other two, I think they were asking those questions. They didn't say anything to make, in my opinion, didn't make Bill Yoder look that bad. But, the defense still has plenty of witnesses to go here.
Right.
And there are chances, maybe even if they aren't pointing out or pointing the finger directly at Bill, they do have some chances to raise reasonable doubt in this case.
And that's the big key here, reasonable doubt. And, a lot of people just following along on this kind of believe like there has been reasonable doubt raised, even during the prosecution's case here. And you don't know, is there possibly someone that's going to come forward and testify that, there was a relationship going on before that. We don't know what's still to come. My question for you is the defense attorney, aggressive with these witnesses yesterday? Because that to me would be potentially something that could turn off the jury.
He really wasn't. There were maybe some times where he was pushing them, but he didn't raise his voice. If anything, with Cameron Yoder, he was very kind and sweet and talked very gentle with that witness, after she was very already emotional on the stand. Yeah. But, he wasn't yelling or pushing them to answer in a certain way or anything. I didn't notice anything like that.
And then what is your observation of Conley herself as she's sitting there and she's watching all of this go through, her reactions, her demeanor? What are your thoughts?
That's hard to say. After watching her, she isn't super emotional in the courtroom. The only time she's ever shown outright emotion was after her ex-boyfriend Adam Yoder testified last week. After he got off the stand, she burst into tears, just sobbing, and her mother and sister came up and consoled her. But other than that, she has shown very little emotion. She when some of the patients got on the stand, the former patients of the chiropractic office, they were actually speaking kindly. One of them was speaking kindly of Kaitlyn, and Kaitlyn would smile at her. But otherwise, for the most part, you don't see much emotion coming from the defense table.
Very interesting. And this could go on, this could go on another week, right? And then, of course, jury deliberations. And I would assume that the defense is planning for their biggest witnesses to come towards the end of their case, I would assume.
Well, the judge told us that today should be the final day of testimony.
Wow.
Yeah. So today they expect to release early. There are a few more witnesses from the defense, but he said the judge told the jury that he expected that to move rather quickly today. They'll release early so the attorneys can work on their closing arguments, and those will be given tomorrow.
If you were a juror on this case, is it going to be a difficult deliberation for this jury? Just strictly your opinion, and just because you've been there for all of it.
I don't think I can say. I've tried to sit in this trial as an observer, but also thinking as the jury. But I don't know. I think it could go one way or the other. I think you'll have jurors who say, of course, strictly, nope, she did it, or no, she didn't, or there could be jurors who are still uncertain. I know I'm still keeping my mind open. Yeah,
and that uncertainty is really enough to come back with to acquit.
I hate to use this term "smoking gun," but has there been a real damning piece of evidence that shows she either signed for this this drug or medication or whatever?
Well, she did sign for it. Yeah, I believe. Yeah,
they confirmed it. Okay,
and
the UPS deliverer did testify that she gave the package to Kaitlyn. She signed for it.
But that wasn't a smoking gun, though, right?
Because she signed for all packages, right?
Exactly. So, but there was one testimony that happened, I think it was on Friday. They all kind of blur together at this point. But one woman who was actually communicating with the person who bought the colchicine from Art Chemicals, which is the company, it was the third-party distributor that distributed the chemical.
Yeah.
She spoke with someone, couldn't get in touch with the individual through email, and so even though the letterhead that was sent to her said Chiro Family Care, she Googled trying to find this business and found the Chiropractic Family Care with the same address and called the number and testified that she spoke to a young woman who sounded very, I can't remember the terms she used, but described it as a young woman on the phone, confirming that this is where to send the colchicine. So that, I think, of all the things, everyone that I've spoken to in the courtroom, they say that's the piece of testimony that sticks in their mind the most.
Got it. And you have to be somewhat anticipating, Cara, that you wonder if the defense attorney has something up his sleeve today. Sounds like today's going to be it. If he does, he's got to bring it out today.
Exactly. Well, I know there is a controversial witness that will be taking the stand. It more seems like a credibility witness that would destroy Adam. The defense hopes would damage Adam Yoder's credibility. He's a cousin of Adam Yoder and was also his former roommate. He's expected to take the stand this morning, but may take the stand before the jury even comes in the room so the judge can actually see what he has to say, basically testifying to different things that Adam Yoder owns.
Got it.
So it'll be interesting to see what comes out of today. That's for sure.
All right. Cara Thomas is from Spectrum News, and we, again, appreciate your insight here. And today was really the most interesting we've had up to this point. So thanks so much for taking the time.
Thank you.
All right.